was a story that I've always known about, that my great-grandfather had sadly was lost at sea. It was near the end of the Second World War and he was on a trawler which hit a mine, and unfortunately all 10 men on board perished.
My grandfather, Robert Bewley, was an orphan. He was taken into Birkenhead Union School when he was 6 years old. He stayed there until he was 14, and then he was apprenticed to be apprenticed for the fishing industry in Grimsby. When he was 30, he married my grandmother. They had 9 children, and I never met him because I was born 3 years after he was killed. But my mum always said he was a gentleman. He stuttered. He was a good father as far as she could tell me. I haven't found out a lot about the Aquarius, except that there is a memorial at Tower Hill in London.
So whilst we were in London, we decided to go to the memorial, and it took a while, but we actually found the plaque which had the Fishing Vessel Aquarius on. We actually found the name of my great-grandfather on the plaque.
It was really incredible to see this huge memorial with all of these merchant fishing vessels or merchant seaman vessels that were blown up, lost in the war.
So then I just thought it'd be so interesting to find out a little bit more about the actual vessel. So I decided to post on Facebook, and we had a huge response from various Facebook groups. The skipper who was on the trawler, his family sort of got in touch and said that they'd also been to the memorial in London. There was also an artist who'd been commissioned to actually paint a picture of the vessel that was lost at sea.
In actual fact, I have another little story. My mother worked at Tickler's, as did a lot jam factory in Grimsby, as did a lot of young women. Some of them were seconded from there to munitions factories. My mother went to Worcester. The gentleman who owned Tickler's, his jam, for instance, in the First World War was sent out. The government decided to buy his jam. It was sent to the troops in the First World War who ate the jam and then used the tins and made hand grenades with the tins. And that's all tied in with my family as well, because 2 or 3 of my aunties worked for this jam factory. And in fact, when my granddad died, the then owner of the factory in World War II sent a message of condolence to my nana. I went to the Grimsby Telegraph and looked in their archives and found that alongside all the messages from my mum, her brother and sisters as well.
By posting on Facebook about the fishing vessel and about the tragic incident, it really reconnected me with my family, a lot of my family members. I mean, it's always been a huge part of my mum's side of the family, with her being from Grimsby.
I think fishing heritage does hold the family together, without a doubt.